Let's bring in our guy, Animarak. Love having these Thursdays with you. How are you doing on this Thursday afternoon?
Doing great, Jimmy. Ready for some more MMA? Thanks for having me back. What's up, low baggers?
We love having you on this show. All right. I like when we do this. Set the scene for us. UFC this weekend. Where are we?
The UFC is headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota, the state of bread and butter, the land of 10,000 lakes, and home of the 2020 NFL champions, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, man. That got me. All right. Yes, I'm very curious to see how your Vikes look this year, and I have more work to do on them. All right, let's get into these fights. Let me pull up the UFC moves here. We're going to sportsbookreview.com. We're on the UFC. There we go. And let's get to work. All right, first up, Dan Moretti versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, a big favorite, Clint, and getting bigger. Opening at minus 285, now minus 340. A 55-cent move towards Jared Gordon. Do you agree with this move?
I do. Jared Gordon is the man. And to give you all a heads up, I think the best way to be profitable on this particular card is going to be playing the props. So that's mostly what I've got for you today. Jared Gordon is all around the better fighter in this situation. He's got dynamite for hands. He's got great footwork. Moretti is slow. He's a wrestler, and he's got chin issues. Now, both these guys are coming off of losses. Both of them have lost 2 losses, so they're both going to be very desperate for a win here to keep their jobs in the UFC. I'm going to go ahead and turn Jared Gordon, who's a minus 325 favorite, into a plus 380 underdog by taking him by knockout.
Ooh, by knockout. Ooh, I like that. Plus 380 by knockout. Wow.
The line is off. Dan Moretti wrestles, and he comes out. He gasses out after the first round, and he gets wobbled in every single fight. I'm shocked he hasn't been finished more, and Jared Gordon's going to be the guy that will take advantage of that.
Ooh. Our guy Animarak getting it off with a plus 380 to get this breakdown rolling. Let's bring up the next fight that you are looking at. Paul Craig against Alonzo Mennifield. Mennifield opening up at minus 250, and he is growing as an even bigger favorite, a 35-cent move towards Alonzo Mennifield. How are you handling this fight?
Well, I knew the money was going to come in on Mennifield. He's a legitimate hype train. The dude was an NFL player. He's got some serious athleticism and some bombs for hands. But this is a massive step up in competition for him. It's only going to be his second UFC fight, and it's going to be his first real UFC caliber fighter. The last guy he fought doesn't belong in the UFC either. So he's going to step in here, and he's going to have a guy that can take some of his shots, that knows how to handle power punchers, and knows how to survive. Minnifield hasn't been out of the first round except for twice, and I don't really count those 2 fights because he got it done in the first 30 seconds of both of those fights. He's been fighting regional competition. He's been fighting scrubs. This is not the guy that you laid at minus 350, minus 400 on. I'm bummed we didn't do the show yesterday because Craig peaked as high as plus 295. That's where I snagged him. He's down to about plus 260, plus 250, something like that right now. I am all over Paul Craig. He has a habit of taking these young fighters into places that they have never been before and winning fights that he shouldn't. He's never going to stop fighting for your money. This is exactly the kind of dog that you want to be on.
Wow. Animarak getting us rolling with a plus 380 Jared Gordon KO and Paul Craig at plus 260. I love it. Let's look up next fight that you want to break down. Anthony Rocco Martin versus Demian Maia. Maia opening up at minus 151. Another favorite that's becoming a bigger favorite. There has been a 39-cent move towards Maia at minus 190 now. How do you handle this one?
This is another one where we're going to just flip that line, man. Demian Maia is the premier submission artist in the UFC. He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu pedigree like nobody else. If you are not the top 5 of the division, he is going to choke you out. His only 3 losses came by decision, to Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, and Tyrone Woodley. Those three are phenomenal all-star level wrestlers, and he wasn't able to put them on the mat, which means he can't get the submission. Everybody else he chokes out. So Anthony Rocco Martin, he's a young up-and-comer. He's a guy that I'm very interested in. He's got a good skill set, but he gives up the takedown. What that means is he's going to end up on the mat at some point, and if he does, I don't think he gets back up. Rather than laying 2-1 on this one with an aging fighter going up against a hungry contender, we're going to take Damian Maia by submission, which is what he does best. Over at 5 dimes, you can get plus 150 on that submission line. Risk 1 unit instead of 2, and that's more than likely how he gets it done.
Ricardo Gutierrez says Maia by submission, good play. Avi Gold, though, says Paul Craig is an awful bet. Please don't bet on that. How do you reply to Avi Gold?
I've been told that all week.
How do you reply to Avi Gold?
Well, Paul Craig is criminally underrated. People don't give the guy the credit that he deserves. Some of his losses have been against really tough competition. For instance, he lost to Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree is another underrated fighter that's really starting to show his colors right now. So people thought, oh, he got beat by Khalil. That means he must be terrible. No, Khalil's better than you think too. So he's got striking ability from distance. Minnifield is going to have a hard time closing that range because once he does, Paul's going to be scrambling for the takedowns. As soon as this turns into a wrestling match, don't forget, we're in Minnesota. There's an altitude issue. If Minnifield gasses out, he ain't going to be able to protect that neck. And how many times does a comeback win get called a fluke before it's just the kind of way the guy fights?
Oh, I love it. If we've learned anything, it's protect your neck. Learn that
exactly.
shit. Learn that shit from the 36 Chambers. All right, now we get to the big fight on the card. Sorry, let me just pull up the Dos Santos Ngannou fight. Francis Ngannou opening up at minus 245. Money coming in on Dos Santos. 15-cent move towards Dos Santos. Dos Santos opening up at plus 210. Now at plus 195. How do you bang this one out?
This is another one where we're just going to take the favorite. We're going to try and shorten that line a little bit. We're going to take Francis Frankie Murder Ngannou by knockout. He's a huge favorite. Getting him by knockout is minus 170 right now, or at least it was when I hit it. It might be a little wider at this point. But that's really the only way he wins this fight. It's not going to go to a 5-round decision. If it does, Junior Dos Santos would be the one who wins it. But Junior Dos Santos is getting older. He's had some chin issues. And you're going to give me 25 minutes for Frankie to land one big old bomb? Ngannou set the record for power punching. There's not a man alive on the planet that hits harder than he does. If he lands, JDS is going down.
Francis Ngannou. I like your looks. Let's go back over them quickly here right now. We have Jared Gordon by KO at plus 380, Paul Craig at plus 260, Maia by submission at plus 150, and Ngannou by KO at minus 170. I like it, Animarak, my guy. Where can we find you on Twitter, and tell us more about your podcast?
Give me a follow at the Die Hard MMA podcast. That's at Die Hard MMA Pod on Twitter. I try to break down the fights, have a little bit more fun, so give me a listen over there. I might have a little special something for my followers soon here, pretty quick. So come join me. Come hang out. We like to break down the fights. Since I started tracking the record on the podcast, we are up 24 units for the year. We're on a bit of a skid, but I got a feeling we turn it around this weekend. Best part is, if we hit that KO prop on Jared Gordon, that pays for the night. We got a winner locked up already, and that's what I like.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. There he is, live and in person, our guy, Animarak, original low bagger, and a great, great, great friend of the show.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.